Welcome to a lesson on equations. You notice the heading says prep for assessment task 1, but in reality this is preparation for the HSC course in general, for standard and even advanced, to be honest. So I was a little disappointed no one else asked me for help and what other questions to do. I only got one request, so the video today is going to be only on equations because that's the only request I got. Let's get started. Okay, solve the following linear equations. So I'm going to go through it a little quickly as compared to class because first of all I've got a lot of stuff to get through, but also because you can pause and rewatch the video. Okay, so let's get started. 5x plus 3, I'll do b first. 5x plus 3 is equal to 4x minus 5. Okay, I can add and subtract any type of term that I want from either side as long as I do it to both sides. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to, I could add 1 on both sides, or I could do minus 3 on both sides, for example. Note that I've put in a minus 3 on both sides. That's in essence, that's what we are doing. That's what we're doing. So what happens? You'll end up with 5x, and the plus 3 minus 3 is just 0, so that disappears. And over here, 4x minus 5 minus 3 is minus 8. Similarly, I can also subtract 4x from both sides. I can subtract 4x from both sides if I wanted to. And 5x minus 4x is just x, and 4x minus 4x cancels out, leaving you with negative 8. That's what we are doing in essence. In reality, this is what we are doing. We're not moving stuff around. Now, I know our working out tends to be, we write the stuff that we're doing on either side. We just wrote it below. So we do something like this. It's probably quicker. We do this. We do, let's take away 4x on both sides. So we write like this, right? And that's mostly so that we can leave the equation untouched. And we can see exactly what we're doing in each step. So that'll be x plus 3 equals to negative 5. You get the same answer at the end. Minus 3 on both sides. And that gives you x equals to negative 8. Same answer. But the way I just did it, and you can rewind and watch, the way I did it first, that's really what we're doing. And you need to understand that so that you don't make silly mistakes. Okay, here's another one. 10y minus 4 is equal to 2 plus 4y. Now, I note that there are y's on each side, but that's okay. You know, with collecting like terms, I know that if there was a minus 4y here, that 4y would disappear. So I can do negative 4y there and a negative 4y there on both sides. And what's the result of that? 10y minus 4y is 6y, and then you'll have the negative 4, and that's equal to 2. 4y minus 4y is 0. And similarly, now because I want the y by itself, I'm going to do whatever is with y. So there's a 6 and a negative 4. So I'm going to add 4 on both sides here. Add 4, add 4. Okay, and then I end up with 6y is equal to 6. And divide both sides by 6, and you end up with getting y equals to 1. You got y by itself. Okay, that's our goal. So over here as well. Okay, so every equation requires a slightly different strategy, but the fundamental rule is you can do anything you want as long as you do it to both sides. Okay, you gotta maintain the balance. Maintain the balance, that's very crucial. So let's have a look over here. B is 8 plus w on 2 is equal to 3w minus 10. Okay, now as a general rule, if you see a fraction, you want to multiply every term on both sides by the lowest common denominator of the fractions. Okay, lowest common denominator. Multiply every term on both sides. So now I see there's only one fraction, and that's a 2. Lowest common denominator is 2. I'm going to multiply every term on both sides by 2. 8 times 2, 16. Plus w times 2 is 6w times 2. Excuse me. You end up getting this. Now we kind of back in a question very similar to that. Okay, so when we applied what I just taught, you end up getting something like this. And over here, we have W here and a W here. I can do minus W and minus W as long as you add a minus W. So if you do minus W here and a minus W there, note I added or I subtracted negative W, or I subtracted W from both sides. And the result, 16, is equal to 6W minus W is 5W minus 20. Add 20 to both sides. 5W is equal to 16 plus 20, which gives you 36. Divide both sides by 5. W is equal to 36 over 5. Okay, move on to the next one. We have 6y minus 4 is equal to y on 2 minus 5. Okay, I see denominator is 2. Multiply every term on both sides by 2. 12y minus 8 is equal to w minus 10. Multiplying every term on both sides by 2. 6y times 2 is 12y. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. We also multiplied this by 2. So basically what we did was we did 2y over 2, and the 2's divided out, leaving you with just y. That's why we have just a y there. Okay, now we have, variables on both sides. But as I said before, we can do a minus y here, as long as you do a minus y on the other side as well, and that will just undo each other, so to speak. Y minus y is just 0. So 12y minus y is 11y minus 8 is equal to negative 10. Now I need to add 8 to both sides, so I can do add 8 there and add 8 there, and I'll have 11y is equal to negative 10 plus 8 is negative 2. Divide both sides by 11. Y is equal to negative 2 on 11. I'm kind of going back and forth with the working out, just so that you're doing the same thing. It doesn't really matter how you write it too much. Okay, I'm not going to do this. I'll do G, because I feel like E is too similar to B and C. So I'm just going to do G now. Okay, let's use a green pen, because why not? Okay, so we have G. What's wrong with this? Okay, anyway. So we have 2 is equal to 5 plus 2r minus r on 5. Minus r on 5. Okay, lowest common denominator. I look at the fractions. 5, multiply every term on both sides by 5. 2 times 5, 10. 5 times 5, 25. 2r times 5, 10r. And then I'll just left with a minus r when I multiply this by 5. The 5's cancel, leaving me with negative r. What's 10r minus r? Well, 9r. 25 is equal to 10. Okay, I just collected like terms there. Collected like terms here. 10r minus r is 9r. Now minus 25 on both sides, because you want the r by itself. The r by itself. So undo the 25 and the 9. Let's undo 25 first. So negative 25 here. Negative 25 there. 10 minus 25 is negative 15. Okay, and then I'll have 9r. R is equal to negative 15 on 9. Moving on, solve these equations. Okay, so I'm going to do H first, then I'll do K, then I'll do F. I chose these on purpose. I know this wasn't actually asked in an initial request, but this is actually fairly important. So we see fractions. 4c over 3 minus c over 4 equals to 3. Okay, you see fractions, you have to multiply every term on both sides by the lowest common denominator. Now, the lowest common denominator of 3 and 4. The first number that's in both timetables is 12. So I'm going to multiply. And I'm going to do this in a lot of working out. 12, and then I have 4c on 3, minus 12c on 4 is equal to 12 times 3. Oh, what happened there? Okay. I'm not sure what's going on. Let's just ignore it. 12 times 3. Okay. So now the 12 and the 3, 12 divided by 3 is 4. Or we can think of it like this. And I'm going to be cancelling out. I'm going to divide the 12 by 3 and then divide the 3 by 3. So when this gets divided by 3, you get 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. That's what I have now. Now the denominator, 1 times 1 is just 1. Let that, we can ignore it. We have 4 times 4c, giving us 16c. Similarly over here, I can divide 12 and the 4 by 4. Divide this by 4, get 1. Divide this by 4, I get 3. 3 times c is 3c. And that's equal to 12 times 3, 30, 36. 36. Okay, 16c minus 3c gives me 13c is equal to 36. And I can do c is equal to 36 divided by 13. Whatever that is, 36 over 13. All right, moving on. Let's do the next example. We're doing to k now. 3p on 10 is equal to p on 2 plus 4. Now, there's many ways to do this. I've seen some of the students do a different approach. That's okay, it's fine. There's many ways to do it. But the way I teach it, it just simplifies the entire thing in one step. And you always do the same thing. You do the same thing every single time. So look at the denominators. What is the lowest common denominator? What is the first number in both timetables? So if I were to list down 10, 20, 30, that's what I mean, okay? Note that 10 is in the 10 times table. Similarly with the 2, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We see 10 is in both. Now you should be able to do this mentally. So your times tables do need to be quite good. So 10's in both. So I'm going to multiply this by 10, and the 10's will cancel, leaving me with just 3p. I multiply this by 10, and then we should be able to do it mentally. 10 divided by 2 is 5p, plus multiplied by 10, 40. Okay? So do it. You can pause, slow down, do it the way I've done it over there. Although eventually you want to have enough practice that you can do it in one hit, just doing it mentally. Anyway, moving on. Now you have variables on both sides. That's okay. We can just minus 5 here, minus 5 there. 5p, sorry. Okay, what's the result? 3p minus 5p is negative 2p. 5p minus 5 gets 0, and then the 40 left over, and p is divide both sides by negative 2, giving you negative 20. Okay, finally, and I will reduce the size of this because I want space left over for the last one. This one is slightly different to the first one. And finally we have f. Once again, this is slightly different. I chose this on purpose. G on 6 minus G on 8. Oops. G on 8 equals to 4. Okay. All right. Now once again, what is the lowest common denominator? Now don't just do 6 times 8 every time. Like over here, if we've done 2 times 8 is 20, you unnecessarily make the numbers bigger. Same over here, 6 and 8. Don't do 6 times 8. Okay, 6, 12, 18, 24. And then 8, 16, 24. So 24. We're going to multiply every term on both sides by 24. Now 24, okay, I'll do it the long way again. G over 6 minus 24, and G over 8 is equal to 4 times 24. Alright, 24 divided by 6 gives me 4, so I'll have 4G. 24 divided by 8 gives me 3, so I'll have 3 times G. 3G is equal to 4 times 24, 40, 80, and then 4 times 4 is 16. 80 plus 16 is 96. 4G minus 3G gives me just G, and then G is 96, and we are done. Okay, we'll move to question 18. Solve these equations. Okay, let's do A. Oops. A. 3 over B plus 1 is equal to 5. Once again, because we have denominator, the lowest common denominator is B plus 1. Multiply every term on both sides by B plus 1. 3 is equal to, okay, you know what? I'll do it a bit slowly. So if I do B plus 1 here and I multiply it, so it's B plus 1. 3 over B plus 1 is equal to 5B plus 1. Now that B plus 1 and that B plus 1 divide each other. It's the same number, so it cancels out, leaving me with just 3 is equal to 5B plus 1. Let's expand the bracket. 5 times B is 5B. 5 times 1, positive 5. Okay, minus 5 on both sides. Do minus 5 here, minus 5 there, leaving me 3 minus 5 is negative 2, and then I have 5b, and then b is equal to negative 2 over 5. Same over here, b, 7 is equal to 8, 1 plus y. Multiply every term on both sides by 1 plus y. gives me 7, 1 plus y. I would not skip this working out. And the 1 plus y and 1 plus y will cancel out. Don't skip this because I see a lot of people make silly mistakes. Now do 7 times y is 7y is equal to 8. Just expanding the bracket there. Minus 7 on both sides. 7y is equal to 1 because a minus 7 is 1. Divide both sides by 7. Y equals to 1 on 7. Hope I'm not going too fast. I don't want the video to be too long. Anyway, we have 8c all over 4c minus 2 equals to 1. Multiply every term on both sides by 4c minus 2. Now the 4c minus 2 will cancel out, leaving with just 8c. And over here I'll have 1 open bracket 4c minus 2. Once again, don't skip that working out. So I have 8c is equal to expanding this. 1 times 4c is just 4c. 1 times negative 2 is minus 2. Now I can add, okay, we're going to get rid of, we want the c's on one side only. Let's undo the 4c. So we'll do minus 4c there, minus 4c there. 8c minus 4c is just 4c. That 4c, minus it out, it just becomes 0. So you have negative 2. Divide both sides by 4. So we have c is equal to negative 2 over 4, which is 1 over 2. Okay, moving on. 21. Solve these equations. Okay, so let's do c. We have 5x minus 1 is minus 6x minus 5 equals to 11. Let's expand everything. 3 times 5x is 15x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Okay, now it's very important, and I see students make a mistake over here all the time. That is not a 6. That is a minus 6. So we're doing minus 6 times x and minus 6 times negative 5. I'll say that again. This is one of the most common mistakes. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. Negative 6 times negative 5 is positive 30. This right here, that right there, most common mistake. Most common mistake in your 9, 10, 11, and 12 intermediate maths, standard maths, advanced maths, extension 1 maths. Trust me, most common mistake. Okay, so I haven't changed anything. I have not operated on the left-hand side. I've just expanded the brackets. Okay, that's why the right-hand side does not change, because I haven't done anything to the left-hand side other than expanding brackets. I haven't changed it. The balance is still there. 15x minus 6x gives me 9x. Negative 3 plus 30 gives me positive 27 equals to 1. Now you have 9x plus 27 equals 1. You want x by itself. Let's undo the 27. So you can put in a minus 27 here. You can write it like this if you want. Minus 27. So you have 9x is equal to 1 minus 27, which is negative 26x. Divide both sides by 9. And we're done. Okay, with f we have 3. Y minus 2 is equal to 10 minus 2. 3y minus 1. Let's expand everything. 3y minus 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. 10 minus 2, once again, very common mistake. Okay, I'm slowing down over here because very common mistake. You need to understand that's a negative 2 times 3y, which is negative 6y. And negative 2 times negative 1 gives you positive 2. Once again, most common mistake. Most common mistake. All right, 10 plus 2, so we leave the left-hand side alone for the time being. 10 plus 2 is 12 minus 6y. And we're back to one of the earlier parts. So I want the y's on one side, so let's get rid of that 3y. So I had to, you know what, I'm going to get rid of the negative 6y. How do you undo a negative 6y? Well, if I do plus 6y, I know that will cancel out. If you do plus 6y here, you're going to do plus 6y there to maintain the balance. So 3y plus 6y is 9y minus 6 equals to 12. Negative 6y plus 6y cancels out, giving you just 12. Add 6 on both sides. 9y equals 12 plus 6, which is 18. And then divide both sides by 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2. And we're done. Okay, I think this is the last question. Okay, so we have, let's have a look over here. We have a plus 2 on 3 is equal to 3a minus 4. I see a fraction, multiply every term on both sides by 3. So So you have a plus 2 is equal to 3a times 3, 9a, minus 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Okay, and variables on both sides. I don't want them on both sides. I want one side only. Okay, you can undo the 9a, you can undo the a. Let's undo the a because why not? So negative a there, negative a there, leaving me with a minus a. It's 2, 9a minus a is 8a minus 12. Add 12 on both sides. 8a is equal to 2 plus 12 is 14. A equals to 14 on 8. Okay, looking at the next one. It's very similar. Okay, whatever. I'll do it. 2m minus 5 is equal to m plus 1 all on 2. I see a fraction. Multiply every term on both sides by 2. 2m times 2, 4m. Negative 5 times 2, negative 10 is equal to m plus 1. I see variables on both sides. Let's get them on one side. Let's do minus m here, and we're putting a minus m there as well. 4m minus m, 3m. Minus 10 is equal to m. Negative m cancel out, leaving you just 1. Add 10 on both sides. 1 plus 10 is 11. Divide both sides by 3. M is equal to 11 on 3. All right, we have e now. Now we have 3x plus 2 all over 5 is equal to 2x plus 4 all over 2. I see fractions. Multiply every term on both sides by the lowest common denominator, which is 10 here. 5, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 is the first number in both times tables. So multiply this by 10. 10 and the 5 will cancel out, leaving you with just 2. And then over here, multiplying by 10, 10 and the 2 will divide into 5. 2x plus 4. Okay, make sure to do the long way if you're not quite sure. Now we expand. 6x plus 4 is equal to 10x plus 20. 5 times 2x, 10x. 5 times 4 is 20. Variables on both sides. Let's do a negative 6x here, negative 6x there, leaving you with 4 on this side. On the right hand side, 10x minus 6x is 4x plus 20. Remember, we want the x by itself. So let's do minus 20 on both sides. 4x, 4 minus 20 is negative 16. We want the x by itself. Divide both sides by 4. X equals to negative 4. Okay, we have one question left. I'll change the color of my pen just so we can differentiate. So over here, we're doing h now, which is k plus 4 all over 3 minus 2k minus 3 all over 2, which is equal to negative 3. I see fractions. Multiply every term on both sides by the lowest common denominator, which is 6. 3, 6. 2, 4, 6. 6 is the first number in both timetables. Multiplying this by 6, and I'll do it the long way. Imagine we did this, and we did 6 like that, and then we're also multiplying this by 6 as well. Now the 6 and the 3 we divide into each other, giving 3 divided by 3 is 1, 6 divided by 3 is 2. There's going to be 2 there. 6 divided by 3, 1, we divide this by 2, giving you 1, divide this by 2, giving you 3. So let's write it cleanly. What do I have? I have 2k plus 4, and I have negative 3, 2k minus 3 is equal to negative 3 times 16 is negative 18. I'm almost guaranteeing that vast majority of the class will get this question wrong. Anyway, so expanding 2k plus 8. Negative 3 times 2k is negative 6k. Once again, most common mistake, that's a negative, what's I'm going to call it? Negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Most common mistake in all of 9, 10, 11, 12 maths, advanced maths, extension maths, so on and so forth, okay, is equal to negative 18. Sorry for changing color pen. I don't like orange. Anyway, 2k minus 6k, negative 4k, plus 8 plus 9 is positive 17 equals to negative 18. What k by itself? What's with k? Negative 4 and the 17. Let's do minus 17 on both sides. Minus 17 here, minus 17 there. Leaves you with negative 4k is equal to negative 35. divide both sides by negative 4. K is equal to negative 35 on negative 4. This is, the negatives will cancel out, giving you 35 on 4. And we are done.